man, welcome to our first episode of GPP After Hours.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so new concept and series we're rolling out, right? Talking about some of the common themes and the things that we take out of the episodes of GPP, and just kind of diving in quickly with takeaways that people can implement very, very succinctly, and really those powerful things that come out of GPP that, get lost in some of the past episodes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have all of these episodes. I don't know what we're up to now, Big Al, but quite a few, right? And quite a lot of good content for what we're trying to push out and changing the way our clients think and turning a transactional industry into a relationship-based industry, et cetera. So, how can we provide quick takeaways from our perspective?
Yeah, and do it over a drink, right?
Yeah.
Always works.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. So the one that, as we were kind of talking about what we should hit on from a takeaway perspective, it's funny that one of the episodes that we kind of always go back to in our brain was Lisa Broderson, right? And how she is simple tactics to take what is a very, very transactional industry and create good and deep relationships with her clients.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I don't know that we've had somebody on that is in less of a transactional business than that one.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in mortgage loan
more
processing.
of a transactional business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They high volume and literally investing in a relationship over a 2, 3, 10-year period of time when they might have that transaction again in the future, and what they're doing throughout that period of time. When in our industry, people continue to pay us every single year.
Product they have to buy.
They have to. And we're not doing near what they're doing to try to get that one sale in 10 years.
Yeah. And it's when you hear kind of what she talked about in that episode and what she's doing, it's not rocket science, but she's created systems and processes, and she does it. She implements it.
Yeah.
It's handwritten notes, it's phone calls, it's birthday cards, it's, a lot of those types of things that, I think she talked about in there, keeping really good notes about your clients and then doing some unique thing based on what you find out about them.
Yeah.
And I think that just gets so overlooked in our industry because, as you mentioned, people have to buy the product, and so we don't have to work as hard to keep that relationship going. But we're missing the boat there, right?
I feel so. And then also you got, if somebody's sitting here trying to run an agency or, a firm, and they're saying, okay, where do we create optimizations and efficiencies and whatnot? One of the common themes I think that we need to continue to go back to is create efficiencies and optimize the business with where the client doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Where the relationship doesn't exist, right? So do it on the back end.
Not things that touch the client or affect the client experience.
Exactly. And I'll give you a perfect example. We tried to implement a service called Send Out Cards. You can go to sendoutcards.com. They're automated birthday cards, anniversary cards, whatever you want. In theory, it's pretty legit. You upload your signature and, so it's like you sign the card, and you can send gifts along with it if you want to. It's completely automated. It syncs up with certain CRMs and whatnot. It sounds legit.
Yeah.
I received...
The technology's awesome.
It is.
It is legit.
You're like, man, if I could automate birthday cards, how much happier would I be? And whatnot. But I received mine for my birthday. I sent to myself. And I opened it up, and I was embarrassed. I'm like, this isn't it.
Yeah.
This isn't it. And so...
People can tell.
Yeah. It seems insincere. You're wasting cash. It doesn't work. And then you're up against Lisa Broderson, who's doing that every single year for a mortgage transaction 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what the hell are we doing? So we canceled it, and we started going back to doing, again, in the concept of don't automate things that touch the client and the relationship. Go back to heartfelt messages, custom messages, and things like that.
Yeah. Well, and also I think in today's day and age where things are more automated, We're used to that to a degree, but it makes things less human, less relationship-based.
Yeah.
That I think the relationship-based touch, the handwritten note, the handwritten birthday card, stand out more.
Exactly.
And it's that much more impactful to people because they expect to get the automated birthday card.
Yep. Because they know it's more efficient, and
Yeah.
that's what goes through their head. They open it up and they're like, he doesn't have time to write all these birthday cards, and it's totally just like low bar. They're not pissed, but
Yeah, I mean they're like, oh, that was nice.
yeah,
But it doesn't stick out as trash.
yeah, totally.
But the handwritten note, as you were mentioning, you get an email about it.
Yeah. So after we quit August of last year, I've received 5 emails and pieces of, compliments back. Just received one a couple days ago, and it was, hey, thanks for the note. And I always write something sarcastic or whatnot in there because it's my personality, right? And I'm like, hope the husband gives you a Range Rover for your birthday and whatever, because, that's what we were talking about that in a meeting or whatnot. And they remember that stuff. And they're compelled to fire up the email and say, hey, we're holding off on the Range Rover this year. He's going to get it for me next year. So anyway, I think if we're going to talk about one takeaway, that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Make it more about the relationship. Focus on it. Don't automate things that are going to compromise that. And in fact, lean into them and see what happens.
Yeah. And the one thing I'll add to that because you mentioned it there, is the handwritten note, that medium is awesome, but the more you can bring in parts of the relationship and the things you've learned about that client, makes it even more impactful.
Yeah.
So the happy birthday handwritten, whatever is great, but when you tie in the fact that you had a conversation with them about a Range Rover and hope the husband buys it, like they know that you remembered that.
Yeah.
And it just drives that deeper relationship.
Yep.
Like again, it's like these levels. Like automated is way up here. The handwritten happy birthday's here. And then you go to that next step of I remember and I'm investing in remembering things, even if you just have it in a CRM that says, hey, talk about a Range Rover next time.
Yeah.
They don't know that. And so
challenge yourself to figure out 18 different ways throughout the year where you're providing highly personalized relationship-based communication with the client. How can you touch them 18 times?
And briefly touch on why 18. This is another rabbit hole we could go down for a long time. It's after hours.
Yeah.
Bar's about to close, so last call.
We're running out. Plus, we're probably over time, but this is our first episode. Give us a break. There's a lot of industry just stats around, like from a client perspective, what do you need to be doing, or how many times do you need to be hearing from somebody to be kept top of mind? So think about that in your own relationships. You forget about people, right? It's because you don't hear from them for however many months. We're not saying write a handwritten note 18 times a year. That's not what we're saying. You gotta create a strategy, have it make sense, but don't automate it, and lean into it. Make it manageable. Build it into your practice slowly. But I think if you can start striving for that amount of content out to them, and then get their feedback and see where it goes. But
absolutely. All right. Well, we will be back soon with the next episode of the GPP After Hours.
And more takeaways.
See you.